This is code.org. I'm currently working on their CS Discoveries course. We have code that we've been working on here, so it should. Yours might look a bit different, right? But we created a scene, we added score in the last level. Let's see what's next. Choosing your background. Now that you have your score variable, you can use it to choose the right background for your game. You can see the example of changing your background according to score in lesson 19, level 11. Alright, do this. Inside the draw loop, use an if statement and your two background functions to draw the background according to your score level. Test your code by changing the starting score to 100, then running it to see whether the background changes. If you have a third background, you can click the plus sign of the if block. Another space will appear for the third background function, as well as a place to check the score again. Alright, a third background, maybe we'll do that. Let's see. First we want our if statement, update sprites, nope, draw backgrounds is where it's going to go. Okay, so if, and then we're going to grab math, comparison operator. You don't want one equal sign, because one equal sign is used to create a variable. Two equal sign is to check something. So if, and we don't need equals though, we actually want if score, let's say is greater than, I'm going to say is greater than 10. Okay, so we'll have it be, if it's greater than 10, we'll have it be background 2. Okay, I'm going to hit this. What if I do this? Yes, we have an else if. Okay, so if score is greater than 10, this is going to be my else actually. No, it's not. If score is greater than 10, I want background 2. And then, let's say, if score is greater than 20, and I haven't created the background I want for that yet, and the default background is going to be background 1. Perfect. Alright, so I want to make a third background, but first, let's check. First, let's check that this code works, so I guess I actually need to get rid of that. I'm going to set my variable here to 25, and what should happen is when it runs our draw function, it's going to default to background 1, but it then checks if score is greater than 10. It says, okay, computer, look for a variable score. And then the computer says, yup, zoop, up, there it is. Okay, is that greater than 10? If so, the computer says, yes, true, and runs whatever's inside this if statement. What's in our if statement here is background 2. So that's the function call, and the computer will then search for a function named background2, which is right here, run the code inside of that, and then go way back up here and keep running the code below it. So hopefully, yep, we see our second background. Now I like a challenge, so I'm going to tackle that. I hit show text because I'm going to use the copy paste to create another background. Selecting my background 2, I'm going to right click, copy, or I could use Control-C, Control-V, and then I right-click, paste. On a Mac, it's Command-C, Command-V. I'm going to call this background 3. I'm going to make this purple, and then fill, it was orange, fill, does lime green work? Not sure this will work. Oh, it's not being called. Okay, one sec. I'm going to go up here and flip this to 3. Oh, lime green does work. Cool. And then... I'm going to make the size of these ellipses even larger. And that will be an oval, that's fine. And then this is our moon. If I'm using lime green, I want it to actually just be white. Let's see how that looks. I like it. All right. And then I'm actually going to copy and paste this to make it kind of crazy looking. Copy, paste, and I want a different fill color for this. So I'm going to do how about yellow? Let's see what this looks like. Sure. That's kind of wild. All right. I'm going to go back to blocks, and I'm going to now do what they said in the challenge. I'm going to add an else if statement, and I want it to be else if because I do want to check, because this is going to be background 3. I only want if score is greater than, we're going to say 20. So if they're doing super well, I'm going to put the else if there. It's first going to check if the score is greater. I'm grabbing a function call. Make that background 2 because I replaced background 2 by writing background 3 here. So first I want to know if the score is greater than 10. If so, make it background 2. If not, if the computer says false, scores I need to flip these. I have a problem. So first I want to check if score is greater than 20, right? If I check if it's greater than 10 first, it will never get to here, I'll show you what I mean. First I'm going to check if it's greater than 20. If so, I'm going to make it background 3. All right? Then I'm going to check if it's greater than 10. Okay? And the reason I want greater than 10 second is because if it's greater than 10 is first, that will be true, and it will never... 100 is greater than 10, right? But 100 is also greater than 20. It would never check if it's greater than 20 if 10 was first, because that would be true. And once something's true in our if statement, it skips the rest of the else statements and just runs the thing in the if statement that was true. So this way I check if it's greater than 20. If not, it will run down here and maybe the score is 11. Check this. If that's true, it runs this code. Else, the default will be background 1. Okay, so let's try now. And we still have that background because we're at 25. Now let's put it at 15, and that should run the else if statement. Yep, and now let's put this at 0. Awesome. Let's just make sure here. Yeah, awesome, and we did the challenge. So that's the code that I did. And I create a second background. Great, let's keep going.